Good morning. In this video, we have a bit of both, where we have a little, for the first time ever on this channel, unboxing going on. But also, from that unboxing comes the project of the video, which I really look forward to sharing with you. I hope you enjoy. Hello, we have more exciting but also quite intimidating packages. This one from a community member who we were talking in the Discord, and they had discovered their local charity shop was going to throw away a lot of handmade lace because no one was buying it. So we did a thing where a couple of us was like, well, we're going to have to pull together and sort of contribute so that this person could buy all of it, and then we will ship it off to different people. And so we did, and this is my share, or conceivably my share plus some extra surprises, which I have no idea what are about, but I have been told that this little box is packaged quite tightly and to be cautious of sharp things and scissors. So I'm not quite sure how we're going to attack this. Maybe we need to try to peel off all this duct tape for a start. I feel like you may have overestimated how much tape needed for a poor little box. I feel like we are getting somewhere. 8th of January, and it is today, 25th of March. So it has been on a journey for over 2 months. Letter from dear viewer. I'm not going to read that out loud to you all, but I'm going to enjoy that later. And then we have... So I don't really know which of the lace she did send me, because we were kind of talking about which one we liked and which one we were neutral to, and then there was a lot left. But this looks to be a handmade, very nice blue cotton, a very nice little hand crocheted lace with a ribbon inside it. There's more of it. This is more of the same. And they're all... Are you all the same length? We have like several units of... So this is 2. Are you all the same length? They are. So we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lengths of this cute little crochet lace with a blue ribbon inside. Very cute. Don't know what we're going to use it for, but I'm sure we will find something exciting. And then she also sent me this gorgeous and very thin wool. And then we have a piece of fabric. Very cute. Nice herringbone weave. And then we have more lace. Here is... Was this one of the... This might be one of the machine-made laces, but it is a bobbin lace of some kind. But it is exceptionally thin. My goodness, this is so much thinner than I thought it would be. It is super, super thin. They talked about wanting me to make stuff with it, and I'm like, oof, what are we going to make with this that isn't immediately going to fall apart, or am I going to break the lace? That would be no good. And then we have, I think this is the color. Oops. We have a little science unicorn sticker. I love it. It's just perfect. And then we have this one, which is very curved. Look at the detail. Oh, I thought this was going to be. I don't know what I expected. I kind of, from the pictures, I didn't expect them to be so delicate and so fine. Ooh. And then we have a double cuff, which I love the little, we have these tiny little hearts going on in the center of the, at least the center of this side of the cuff. I thought this was going to be more narrow. It is a very big cuff. Or a narrow collar, but it will be very narrow. But really well preserved, the poor things. Can you imagine they were just going to get thrown away because people don't want stuff like this anymore? Look at it. This is going to be a long, long introduction. And then we have some tatting. This is the very, again, really, really tiny thread. It's very hard to actually see anything because where is the end of you, madam? Aha. Look, it is so tiny. Oh, to be tatting like that. And then we have more tatting. Let's see. Oh, the ribbon bit. Look at the skill of these. I have no idea what they would have been used for, but just admire the sheer delicacy of these shenanigans because, my goodness. Do you want to help me unpack the lace? Hi. Oh, did you find a box? Of course you did. I initially thought from the pictures that this one was machine made, but it is not. This is bobbin lace. And very fine at that. Is it a cape for the madam? Very dashing, very dapper. There's so many hours of work in this package. Does it smell interesting? We have a few more to go through. And then there's the end of you. Another one that from the pictures I thought was machine made, but this is also bobbin lace, just really, really thin thread. Lastly, a little folder. I know they wrote the details and the measurements on the thing, but I still can't quite fathom the details of this. Someone shook a snack chair. Look at it. It is so tiny. Oh, human hands are capable of so much gorgeous stuff, but this is some dedication. I have no idea what we could possibly make with this. I'm worried to even touch it, let alone actually use it for something, but I don't like having stuff just to have stuff. All right, I'm reading the very sweet letter from Alelia, and of course it is a lot about the rescue of the fun project. They don't give any details from what I can tell about this wool, whether it is dyed with madder or not, but it is gorgeous and we shall find something fun to make with it. But this, on the other hand, is not just a piece of fabric. It is a garment already cut out called a bashlik. I think I am reading a bashlik from a Finno-Hungarian Russian winter garment, and somehow I know what we're going to make this week because this is something I have been wanting, and they have even marked the seams. in a very enthusiastic fashion, but it is, as they described it, sort of seam goes here, face goes inside this curve, and then you have this long scarfy bit that you can wrap around yourself so that you stay very nice and warm and snug. And I have actually thought about knitting something very similar to this because I struggle with hat shapes and hair, pulling the hat away from the warm ears where I want them to stay. So this is going to be very interesting. They come with instructions, and that at least gives us something to do for this video. How very exciting. Thank you, Alilia. How thoughtful. It is still quite cold here, so the first thing I'm going to do, being my incorrigible self, is to add onto the pattern. I love the concept already, especially as my parts of the world have been enjoying a rainy, frigid season of cold early spring. A hood/scarf combo seems just the thing in between proper winter cold and the warmer seasons. But I do feel like our bashlik could be even cozier with a lining. I have a really thin cotton from a clearance sale that I think will go nicely with the wool. Now, Alilia let me know that the pattern was taken from fellow YouTube creator and blog writer Katja of With My Hands Dream. So if you require more detailed instructions in order to reconstruct your own, I shall leave a link in the description box below and hope some of you send her some love. Alilia also mentioned that the quote-unquote scarfy bits may be a little short, so I'm digging into my scraps for some wool of roughly similar weight. I think these second dye bath scraps of wool from a plant dyeing course years ago will be great for the job. And of those, I am going with this pair of large triangular gores that were once dyed with walnut shells. Now we only have to attach our piecing. And stitch the back of the head seam on both wool and lining. And the last thing I'm going to cut out, because the community is ever giving me good ideas, are two small end pieces to go inside the lining as lightweight pockets for cold hands on the go. These need to have their top edges felled and stitched, and then everything gets a good press before assembly. And then we'll do the thing where we fold the lining in a little more than the outer fabric so that the outer fabric remains the main focus. I want to incorporate the red yarn from our generous friend, but before we can do that, it would be easier if we wound it first. along the edge, I will stitch kinda whip stitches over the red yarn to make sure some of it gets included in our final project. I say kinda because I'm also making sure to catch a tiny bit of our frontmost facing fabric so that our edge stays nice and crisp. I couldn't find a lot of history on the bashlyk in English, other than it being a very common head garment among Turkic, North Caucasian, Iranian, and Cossack people. But so versatile and evergreen is this garment that we have examples all the way back to Scythians depicted by 5th century BC Greeks and all the way up to the 1900s in Russia. Our bashlyk is functionally done at this point, but I think it could do with a little bit of embellishment. An extant example from Sweden inspired me to make a small tassel for the corner of our headpiece. By stitching it all the way through to the inside, this will also help keep our lining in place. And for some additional joy and whimsy, just a small handful of simple flowers on either end of our scarfy bit, with birch dyed yellow wool for the stamen and more of our gifted red wool as our petals. First through a guiding line of running stitches, and then as satin stitches. A long stretch from perfect, but it makes me smile. Would it have been easier to do the embroidery before the assembly? Of course, but I enjoy following where the project is taking me, which a lot of the time means decor comes last. Thank you for joining me on this little adventure. I certainly have a new favorite throw on as you go out the door garment, and I think others might enjoy this too. So, in the spirit of Alelia's generosity in sending this DIY project my way in the first place, I wish to do a little giveaway in return. Now, from my last big piece of mottled dark grey wool, which you have probably seen in this channel repeatedly, including in this skirt that is my favorite, I managed to cut out 2 kits for a bashlyk that you can make your own self. I did have to piece the wool for the second bashlyk to make it work, but as they say, piecing is period. And I didn't think our community would mind since we like getting as much out of our fabric as we can. I am also leaving in a smaller piece of lining, a lining and a smaller piece of lining, so that if you also want to make pockets of your own, you can do that, or if you want to make a drawstring bag, or if you need to piece something. I know the wool is a little bit longer than the lining because of the fabric width, so you can do that if need be. Also just for patches should that be necessary, and that is the same wool as the project itself, so a little piece of the same project for that. And I'm also leaving in a small hank of the red yarn that Alelia gave us, so that you have the optimal decoration possibility. I will stress that this is a DIY kit. These are not finished bush leeks that I'm sending you, but as sewing goes, this is a beginner-friendly project. The giveaway will run for 1 week from the publishing of this video and end on the 17th of April, 2 p.m. 2025, Norwegian time. Please do make sure to check your email within 48 hours of the giveaway ending, or we will have to pull another winner. I also hope whomsoever wins will join our friendly Discord server and share their finished project. I, for one, would really love to see what you'll do. Link, of course, in the description, along with other useful resources. That's it for this time. Thank you so much for watching. Bye. Hello, my tall child. Are you having a good time up under the ceiling? Hi.